What the hell is happening to Ubisoft? And is it over for them? Now, Ubisoft have had a bit of a weird year. The stock has dropped a significant amount. While the stock in the past month has been doing decently well, obviously not compared to what it was doing almost 3 months ago in August, it was trading about $17. It dropped down to less than $10 at one point, and Ubisoft seem to be in this sort of panic mode, and they're wondering if people actually still have faith in their games anymore. Plot twist. They haven't had faith in Ubisoft games for a very long time now. I don't know where Ubisoft seem to think that people actually still have faith in their games anymore, because it's quite obvious they don't really care about anyone at all. And it's quite clear they do a lot of this just to annoy people, and it works. But is Ubisoft ready to actually make some good games? Now, again, like I've already said, I already did an episode on this, but again, there's more information coming out about Ubisoft and more of, well, what's actually happening to them and various things they've decided to change. Now, Ubisoft have decided to cancelled the previews and stuff like that for Assassin's Creed Shadows. And like all the the press previews and stuff like that. They've decided to now cancel the early access for Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which again is I think they've delayed the game. I don't know. I can't remember whenever they're releasing it. They're releasing a little bit later. Are they really unfinished, or are they? I mean, again, this game has quite a lot of controversy with it. You saw the amount of people that were just not happy with the game. The fact that it was involving various things and stuff like that. It had a lot of controversy to itself. Is that why Ubisoft maybe don't want to release it? Or maybe they're just trying to get it out of the way, or maybe people forget about it a little bit, so the controversy doesn't go. Again, this controversy probably could affect its stock. Maybe that is one of the reasons why the stock, or it's just because people just don't have faith in Ubisoft, and investors are kind of like, yeah, this company, what the hell have they been doing this long time? I don't know. They said they were going to sell the company, sell the shares off, and I think take the company private. I don't think we've had any news on if they're going ahead and doing that. I think they said they were going to do that if it doesn't get any better. I think Ubisoft just need to do what they did in the early 2000s and late 2010s. Release some good fucking games, and people will come back and want to play them. So this is from GameSpot. Ubisoft cancels Assassin's Creed Shadows Early Access. The Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition will no longer include early access to the game when it arrives next year. If Assassin's Creed Shadows stays on schedule, it would have been released in just under a month. Instead, Assassin's Creed Shadow was pushed back to an early 2025 release. Now players who purchase the Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition will not be getting early access to the game. As reported by Insider Gaming, Ubisoft confirmed the cancellation of Assassin's Creed Shadows Early Access during a Discord Q&A session. The company also reiterated it will not be moving forward with its plans implementing season passes. Consequently, the price of Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition will be dropping from $280 to $230. The collector's edition will still come with a steelbook artwork and a statue and more. However, there will be additional charges to the product before final release. So it looks like if you are probably wanting the collector's edition, and maybe you actually purchase it as well for early access, although early access is a new thing with a lot of games. Either it's with people who pre-order it and stuff like that. They get maybe a few days early than the people who don't pre-order it, which doesn't matter. It's like if you pre-order like an ultimate edition of the game, you get early access. You get maybe a few days early, and then people who've pre-ordered the standard edition will have to wait, an extra few days, or they could just pre-order the ultimate edition, which, God, ultimate editions, they're not that cheap. But even then again, even the standard editions of games aren't really cheap anymore, are they? It's pretty expensive stuff now, games are. They've gone up, they've shot up. Maybe that, again, that could be a reason why games are not performing as well as they probably should be. Game prices have shot up a fair amount, maybe $10 or so in the past few years, in the past 10 or so years, which is quite a lot of money to shoot up like that. I bet, again, the average person probably spends maybe, I don't know, 100 to 200, maybe the max $500 a year on games. You know, that's still a large amount of money to spend on games. But again, that's probably a rough estimate. Most people probably get maybe 2 to 4 games, maybe at max a few 10 games a year, depending on that. It depends if there's sales on, because a lot of people do like purchasing games through, say, stuff like the Steam sale and that. And then again, Ubisoft has an incredible amount of sales on. I don't know why, but I think it was Assassin's Creed, what's it called? Assassin's Creed Mirage. That game, I'd say about 5 months after it came out, was on sale, and it was like, I think it was half price or something like that. They slashed the price down. Now, if some game starts going on sale almost not even a year after it's come out, it kind of raises alarm bells to me, and it tells me, did that game actually perform well, or did it do really bad for Ubisoft? Because to put the game on sale, now it wasn't, again, like a huge sale, but it was like half price, you know, so I think the game is like $60, so it was about $30, something like that. That's pretty cheap, I guess, for a game that not new anyway. And it kind of begs the question, why did they put it that cheap? Now, I think they lost a bunch of money. I think apparently they lost like 200 million on the Skull and Bones game. That game, I guess, was trying to adhere to Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but it kind of failed at that, and a lot of people who actually liked Assassin's Creed Black Flag probably say, oh wow, there's Skull and Bones coming out. Wow, this is good. This is sort of a pirate game. There's not a huge amount of pirate games on the market. There is Sea of Thieves, but again, that's more first person. So it was just kind of like, oh, it's cool, this. Although it's not exactly as you really look at it. I didn't really mind it. It had great physics, and it definitely added on what Black Flag had, but I just didn't really. It was kind of boring, to be honest with you. It's, very, very boring. And again, Ubisoft lost a bunch of money on that. I don't think, the amount of times I've seen that game on sale, I presume they just put it for fucking like $1 now. And then again, will people buy it for even $1? Probably not. Although, you know what? I'd probably buy it for $1. $1's $1, isn't it? It's a shit game, but again, it's something I guess you could play now and again if you are bored, that piss bored. Apparently, Ubisoft has reportedly disabandoned the team behind Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Sales did not meet expectations for a sequel, and a sequel was denied. Very sad to hear. This is one of the best. So, again, Ubisoft do it. Again, I know sales are down for Ubisoft. They've lost quite a fair bit of money in the past few years. With just stupid game. And then again, the gaming industry, for what it is, have lost, and Ubisoft lost a bunch of money with, was it Concord? You know, it seemed, I think Microsoft lost a bunch of money as well with various stuff. So again, it comes down to this. What the fuck is, I know the gaming industry is going through a rough patch. It's got, I don't know what you would call it, but it's like people are comparing it to Sega, the sort of the video game crash years ago, before real internet sort of came out. And yeah, I guess you could compare it to something like that. But what really makes me laugh about this sort of stuff is, you know, these game companies, if they release something that genuinely people liked and people took interest in, and maybe, again, the Ubisoft the Assassin's Creed Shadows, that caused a lot of controversy. I'm sure if they release that, it's probably not going to help them. Now, do I think they should still release it? I don't really know, to be honest with you. That game is very, very controversial. Holy shit. I think that took like it was a few days on Twitter, people complaining and stuff like that. People saying racist remarks and comparing the black character in the game to George Floyd and stuff like that. It was pretty rough. It was a rough patch of days for that game when it came out. And I think apparently a lot of the Japanese community didn't really like it as well. So I guess we'll have to see when that game does drop, or if they do decide to drop it now, because they don't seem very confident in the game because they've had to push it back a bit. So I guess we'll have to see where that game stands. I will probably do a review of it when it comes out and see what I think of it. Probably not going to buy it, but it depends. I might buy it and then play like an hour of it and then refund that shit and then get a bit of a review out. But yeah, I don't see myself actually properly buying that game. But again, Ubisoft really have let themselves go over the years. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know really what to say. Ubisoft used to be this sort of powerhouse of gaming. They were literally, I guess the definition, they were spamming games. They had games coming out left, right, and centre. They'd probably have, in a year, about 4 or 5 games coming out. They were huge back then. They were huge. They had Assassin's Creed, they had fucking Division, they had fucking Far Cry 3, one of the crazy... Well, actually, no, Far Cry 5 is actually one of the best-selling. That isn't a bad game. AI and mechanics, okay, a bit shitty, but the story and the characters are actually pretty well, and the environment is pretty well done as well. However, that's beside the point. I don't know, man. I think Ubisoft is... I hope they fix themselves, because they do make good games when they actually... Well, they haven't for a while, but when they do, they're like EA. They're shit, but for some reason, now and again, they seem to make an incredible masterpiece. EA did the exact same thing with Star Wars Battlefront. They absolutely dropped the fucking nail on that. They pissed off a bunch of people. Absolutely pissed off a bunch of people. And guess what? They said, okay, you know what? We're actually getting... And it took a lot of people shouting at them. You know what? We're getting a lot of shit here. Let's revert the changes with what we did with Star Wars Battlefront. And they did. And arguably, a lot of people do think that is a really, really, really good game now. People actually say it's better than the original Star Wars Battlefront. Not the one that launched on the PS2, the original one that was launched in 2015. Well, maybe actually some people think like that, I don't know. However, I think Ubisoft needs to maybe take a long hard look at themselves. They're going down paths. I mean, they're getting very... I can't say... Gaming is very political. A lot of people say, oh, keep politics out of games, keep this. A lot of games are political. Call of Duty, for instance. Far Cry is a very political game. It seems to have gotten... I mean, I think the most political game they've ever had would probably be maybe Far Cry 5. I think that was very political. Although Far Cry 6 is pretty political as well. But a lot of games are political. They either, say one ideology or whatever. Again, I think again, whatever game it is, it's going to probably come up and involve some sort of politics. Call of Duty is one of them as well. You name it. Any first-person shooter, I'm sure, will involve some sort of politics. Is it something I like? Not really, because it spoils everything about the game. However, I guess there's nothing you can do. A lot of people don't really like politics, and to be quite honest, I understand why people don't. They're very boring, they're very pandering, and people just, again, I want something new. I don't want to keep talking about, oh, this person's this and this person's that. I don't honestly care. I just want to, and I paid for a game and I want to sit down and enjoy that game. I don't mind a game having a bit of politics, but I'm sick and tired of people going, oh, well, this is too woke, this is this. Bro, just play the game, buy it or not. You know, I hate this type of shit. I know this is not maybe talking about Ubisoft, but again, it's something I hate in the gaming industry about people just, oh, this game is woke, dude. This game is so woke. Don't buy it, it's woke. And it's like, brother, I don't care. I really don't care if it's woke or not. If I don't like it, okay, I'm not going to buy it. And you probably should do the same as well. You know, stop trying to speak for other people. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean everyone else has to not like it to fit your sort of narrative. That's one thing that actually annoys me about that sort of stuff. And again, I really, 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 really wish people would shut the fuck up about it. Again, it came out with the Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Shadows. People just kept saying it was woke and this and this. Now, don't be wrong, it's a bit of a story, and I guess Ubisoft did have an idea that this was probably going to throw a bit of controversy, and if they didn't, well, they're idiots, okay? Because they clearly knew that it was going to throw some controversy out. And heck, it did throw some controversy out. It pissed off a lot of gamers. Heck, it pissed off apparently a lot of the Japanese community as well. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have a proper facts check, but apparently a lot of the Japanese sort of gamers were pretty pissed off about this as well. Again, I don't know, but Ubisoft really need to sort of book their ideas up if they're actually wanting to stay in the gaming space for a little longer, because it looks like they don't. It looks like they're not quite serious with what they're wanting to do and what they actually care about anymore. And you know what, Ubisoft, it's kind of sad to see you go down this path, to be honest, because I loved Ubisoft where it was in 2010. Before that, even around then times. Where have you gone? You know, I think Ubisoft, I mean, then again, they did release, was it Far Cry 6 in like 2012? Far Cry 3, sorry, in 2012. But again, Far Cry, again, that's another staple of Ubisoft. Division as well. We haven't really had a Division. But to be fair, they are there, and you know what? As much, I'm going to give them massive credit. They're still updating Division 2 with new content. So I get, you know what, I gotta give them a lot of credit right there for updating the game with new content. That game's been out since 2019. That is very, very impressive. I didn't think they'd update that, although I would have preferred the original Division to be updated that long. But no, it's okay. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about Ubisoft, man. It's a company that it's like EA. They make good games when they seem to make good games, but it's like there's a curse overhead of them. It's like they're cursed to make shit games, and then the curse now and again lifts up, and they make a good game, and then the curse just goes back on them. It's a hit and miss curse. You know, it seems to work half the time, but it doesn't on other times. I don't know. I really hope Ubisoft sort of gets back to where they should be and stop messing about. Because again, they make good games. If they sold it off, I don't know if they could probably potentially do it. They'd probably sell it off to someone. I don't know who they'd sell it off to. I don't know who they invest. I think it's like Tencent and stuff like that. Selling off to Microsoft. I don't even know if Microsoft would actually buy Ubisoft. Apparently they were eyeing it up at one point and they wanted to purchase it, but I don't think Ubisoft wanted to actually sell it off, which is not surprising, to be honest with you. But I don't know, I would like to see Ubisoft bringing it back. You know, I want Assassin's Creed to come back as well. Assassin's Creed used to be a beautiful game. You know, you could play that with your friends. I think there's a co-op mode apparently coming in it as well. I don't know, which would be pretty cool if there is. But again, I want Ubisoft to, you know, take a bit of a sit down and start to realise, okay, we need to bring this shit back big time.